Hey everyone, I just wanted to make a quick follow-up video going over the loadout choices as well as answer some questions regarding my Corrupted Puppeteer damage loadout that you probably saw recently. So just getting right into it, one of the questions I saw getting asked was, why Finality's Augur over Anarchy? And the reason for this is because Finality's Augur's turret, the Runescribe turret, is really good for getting stacks of bolt charge. Long story short, it goes off of magazine size, so anything that gets more hits than there are shots in the magazine are better. So stuff like area denial grenade launchers, Wither Horde, Anarchy are going to be really good for getting stacks of bolt charge. But the reason Finality's Augur is really good is because when you paint a target, it shoots a volley of submunitions. I believe there's a total of 5 or 6. I haven't counted exactly, but it's somewhere around there. And if you see the magazine number, my model's blocking it, but you see that it's 6. So per volley, I am getting an entire magazine's worth of shots, which equates to an entire magazine's worth of bolt charge stacks. Which, considering that the bolt charge is the bulk of the damage, is really good. Anything that leans more into that is going to be really good. Um, so going into loadout 1, which is my roam loadout, it's just toil. This is what I use to get to damage. Going over the loadout I switched to going up the elevator, however, is kind of important. So some of you may see that I have the call on, which, why do you have the call on? The reason for that is because of unraveling orbs. So before I go up the elevator, some of you might have noticed it, I have unraveling orbs, or excuse me, unraveling rounds procced. This is important because when I unravel Puppeteer, I am able to spawn threadlings off of weapon damage, which, considering how much weapon damage I'm actually doing, is a lot. So I'm essentially getting 3 threadlings, which equates to more damage, which is just bigger number. We like bigger number. The loadout I'm primarily on, that you see throughout the damage phase, is hazardous propulsion. This is good because of a specific artifact mod, Volatile Marksman. Volatile Marksman is currently bugged and is proccing off of the bolt charge lightning that you proc. So you are essentially doubling up on getting your class ability back, which equates to more rockets off of hazardous. There's actually 2 reasons why this is good. I'll get into that here in just a second, but Volatile Marksman is also good because of Maligned Harvest. So with Rossarago, weirdly enough, I would have a Void Weapon to proc Volatile with, and some of you might ask why Rossarago specifically. I don't have any other option. Ideally, I'd have Surrounded instead of Onslaught, but this is quite literally all I have, so I'm using it. With the Weaken effect off of Maligned Harvest, I am getting essentially double the effect. So what I mean by that is currently a 15% debuff, which is what Maligned Harvest is giving, is stacking with Particle Reconstruction. And the reason this is good is because it's just leaning more into Finality's Augur damage, which is just nice. So this will be fixed soon. Once it's fixed, you probably won't be able to replicate that damage with Finality's Augur specifically, but there's your answer. The loadout I switched to in between the first phase and second phase is my Surgery Fresh loadout. So some of you might have noticed I thunderclapped one of the clones, and the reason for this is because on this loadout I have Heavy Handed on. That generates an orb, which when I grab said orb, I get 2 stacks of armor charge, which will equate to, I believe it's 34 seconds of surges when I switch to my other loadout, but I also have Heart of Inmost Light to pop off any abilities I might have. Which, going over the abilities, obviously I have Thunderclap, I have Rally, I have Pulse Grenade. And the reason I want Pulse Grenade specifically is because of, one, Spark of Magnitude, and two, Touch of Thunder. It is the highest damage option I have on Arc. Storm Nades might be okay, but I didn't want to risk it tracking to some random clone and doing 0 damage. So, Touch of Thunder, Pulse Nades, good. The fragments don't really matter outside of Magnitude. That's the one you want. Shock is also kind of irrelevant because of Defibrillating Blast, which is also another key part of it. So Defibrillating Blast is worded a bit poorly or is bugged. It's one of those two. But the Bolt Charge Lightning, regardless of it being on a champion or not, will heal you. And also jolt whatever target it hits. So that's how I'm able to stay alive during damage. If it gets fixed, I don't imagine Corrupted Puppeteer damage will be as free, but yeah. Going over the other loadout I switched to, it's just a Kyrus swap. I don't really need to explain as to why it's good. It's Kyrus. It's just extra damage for free. If you only cared about the loadouts for Corrupted Puppeteer, then you can click off the video. But I kind of wanted to give a further explanation on Bolt Charge and highlight some other weapons that are pretty good at gaining stacks of Bolt Charge. So with that being said, Storm's Keep, for some reason, the trickle-on rate of Bolt Charge that you get passively stacks with another barricade. So the more barricades you have on the field and you're able to use, the more you get. I don't know why it's like this, but yes, you get more Bolt Charge passively with more barricades. Another reason why this is good is because of Hazardous. I'm just essentially getting free damage off of Hazardous, and yeah. In regards to weapons that I'd recommend for Bolt Charge stacking, again, like I mentioned earlier, Aerial Denial GLs are really good. Finality's Augur is fantastic. Witherhoard, Lemon Arc, even Dragon's Breath to an extent, Ergo Sum with Perfect Fifth, and especially Wolfpack Round Rockets and Swords. The reason for this is since it goes off of a magazine-sized basis, any way to get more mileage out of each shot, the better. So things like Area Denial GLs will give you multiple stacks of Bolt Charge per shot, and even more if you hit more enemies. That's part of the reason why Lemon Arc is so good. It's because it gets, I believe it's 4 to 5 stacks of Bolt Charge per shot, because bows typically only get 1 stack of Bolt Charge every 2 shots. So, again, that's really good. Damage over time weapons in particular are just incredible in general, but are really good for gaining stacks of Bolt Charge. I will put on screen a couple examples comparing Anarchy to Finality's Augur. As you can see, Finality's Augur is getting Bolt Charge much, much faster compared to Anarchy, which, while Finality's Augur does less damage, is really, really important when you account for other weapons as well. Finality's Augur is also just a lower maintenance Anarchy, so that's also another reason why I just prefer it over Anarchy for Puppeteer specifically. And I'll just do a quick rotation comparing Anarchy and, you know, like Hazardous and the rest of the setup to Finality's Augur, and you'll see that Finality's does more damage with Particle and everything else included. So yeah, I just wanted to make this quick video explaining everything. If you want to see a follow-up video on Bolt Charge as a whole, I can do that. Just leave me a comment down below and if I get enough, I'll probably make it. I'm not too sure though. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye bye.